How's it going, guys? Alex here. Welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video, and today I'm going to be going over the top 5 rebirths in the game, and unfortunately Truth will not be present for this one, but hopefully in the next one he will be here. But I hope you guys are having a great day as always, and if you do enjoy today's video, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you are new. But to start things off, I do have an honourable mention, and this is going to be the TEQ Bulma. Unfortunately, she kind of misses out just because she doesn't have too many good link skills, and she doesn't have a standout category. But again, overall she is still an incredible unit. You can debate this in the comment section down below. I was initially going to be putting her in the first slot, but then I thought you aren't really going to be using her that frequently, and of course, like you're going to see on this list, there are better options for this particular list, but I definitely feel like I should just include her because, again, she's still an incredible unit, 100% for free, essentially. And honestly, she's just like such an icon of a character to not include on this list, especially after what we know she does. And of course, if you don't know what she does, it's on the screen right now. She recovers 7,777 health per rainbow orb obtained, great chance of reducing damage by 50%, and a great chance in her passive is actually equivalent to a 70% chance each time she is attacked. So overall, absolutely phenomenal unit. Nothing else to say about her apart from the fact that she is one of the best free-to-play units in the game. Let's move on to the entire list. So in the number 5 spot is the Demon King Piccolo, and he is honestly a very solid unit, especially for that extreme type team. And one of the reasons why is just simply because there aren't necessarily that many great options when it comes to extreme tech, which is why it's one of the least used teams, and obviously Broly's the lead, so it's like, yeah, it's just not going to be that popular. But the Demon King Piccolo is definitely one of the redeeming qualities about that extreme tech team. He causes supreme damage and has a chance to stun. For some reason it says may stun the enemy, even though the majority of the time it's either rare chance, medium chance, or high chance. But I would imagine that this chance is equivalent to around a 15% chance. So he does give the free key to extreme tech types, and that is one of the most important things about the card. It essentially makes up for the fact that the legendary rare doesn't have this himself, because of course Rose and regular Goku Black have a passive that gives free key to extreme type enemies. So the fact that you have another unit in your team that has a passive similar to what they have is a great thing to have, just because this is one of the things that this team desperately needs. And obviously, because there aren't so many units that share a ton of key links with each other, it just needs a massive increase in key, the majority of the time anyway. But again, the TEQ Perfect Cell is going to most likely Extreme Z awaken relatively soon, so I am definitely expecting to see a massive improvement to him and potentially that extreme tech team. But he does have First for Conquest, Demon, Strength in Unity, the Incredible Adventure, Guidance of the Dragon Ball's Nightmare, and Shattering the Limit. So unfortunately his link set isn't necessarily the greatest, but again, the things that stand out the most about the card is that he gives the key, and he also gives a 25% attack increase. Again, this is very good if you don't have a cell, or you can just use the two in combination anyway. But just trying to think off the top of my head, the best team for extreme tech, it would most likely be Ella Blackens and Master, of course, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, Demon King Piccolo, second form Cell, and then I want to say Merge and Masu, and then either Golden Frieza or Turles. Obviously, you have Perfect Cell as well. Perfect Cell will most likely be on that team once he does Extreme Z Awaken, but you can definitely see how you are limited on options when it comes to this team in particular, and Broly is a bit of a liability in certain scenarios. But to go back to his links, his main links by far are Shattering the Limit and Nightmare. Nightmare he will share with quite a few units in that team, actually. Super Saiyan 3 Broly, Ella Blackens and Marcy, Merge and Marcy. There are several units with that team in particular, and Super Saiyan 3 Broly definitely was a bit of an interesting unit to have that link in particular. And again, I would imagine that the reason why they did that is just simply because they wanted him to pair up with the majority of the units in the team. So it's a good thing that he does have that. But moving on to the TEQ Super Saiyan Goku, who is another support unit, and of course he is a support unit for a Super Tech type team. Currently not in a category, but I would imagine that if they ever do it, he is going to be in a Frieza Saga team, or just Namek Saga, probably Frieza Saga, depending on how you separate them, but technically it's just one thing together. That's not the point. So he does cause supreme damage. He gives a 25% attack and defensive boost to all of your allies when health is 30% or above. His link skills are Prepared for Battle, Super Saiyan, Shattering the Limit, Golden Warrior, Kamehameha, and Saiyan Warrior Race. So honestly, there may be a few of you that will argue that Demon King Piccolo is better, but you have to take into account that Goku does give a 25% defensive boost as well. On top of his attack increase, he has a better link set overall. I mean, his damage output doesn't necessarily matter too much. Demon King Piccolo can stun. So it's one of those situations where you kind of pick your poison. The Super Tech team is easily going to be better than your Extreme Tech team. So that's another thing that you can potentially take into account. But then again, the Demon King Piccolo is in a revived warrior team. So again, it just depends on what you personally want to go with. Goku isn't in the category, but the Demon King Piccolo is. But then again, it is significantly harder to pull the Demon King Piccolo just because he is on that Dragon Ball Saga summon, whereas the Goku is on the guaranteed SSR one, so he is featured, of course. Well, technically they are both featured, but the rates for the Dragon Ball Saga summons are just so low that you just have a much higher chance of pulling the Goku, of course, because those tickets are guaranteed SSR and he is featured. So it's like, yeah, you can clearly tell which one is easier to pull. But put that aside, I definitely give the edge to Goku slightly. And now moving on to Super Saiyan GT Trunks. Again, potentially one of the worst units in the game prior to his rebirth, but now he's actually pretty good. So his leader skill is very interesting. I know I didn't cover the leader skills before. I just kind of want to go over this one, but per key obtained of character's type, per key of character type gained, you recover 1,500 health. So if I was to grab a TEQ type orb, I would get 1,500 health back. I do believe that Agility Beerus has a very similar leader skill, but it's like, it's kind of useless. Definitely would have been fun to see a leader skill like that in action today's meta, but it's just so like impossible to, you know, work with unless you have like 100% units on like your entire team. But anyway, moving on to the rest of the card, causes supreme damage and raises defense by 30% for 6 turns. TEQ and STR type key +2, and he also gives a 25% attack and defensive boost. He has Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Saiyan, Warrior Race, Cold Judgment GT, Prepare for Battle, and Shattering the Limit. So his leader skill is pretty trash. And again, this is another support unit, so he isn't meant to hit hard. He can tank relatively well because he gets that 30% defensive boost for 6 turns, and of course he also gives that 25% defensive boost to himself. He has a pretty high defensive stat. His defensive stat is actually at 5,408, which is higher than normal. So again, he will be able to tank relatively well. I would imagine that they did that on purpose, obviously, so he can be a somewhat decent tank on your Super TEQ type team. His link set, again, another good positive. He has Prepared for Battle, Shattering the Limit as well. But the biggest thing about the card by far, the best thing, is the fact that he gives the key to TEQ and STR types, and of course he is on the Hybrid Saiyan category, which does have quite a few issues with key if you don't have the legendary rares. Take aside LR Gohan, who is self-sufficient, LR Trunks, LR Goten, and Trunks. You can definitely see where you start to encounter a few issues with the majority of the units in that team, and it mostly comes down to the fact that Ultimate Gohan only has shocking speed, so having a unit like the Super Saiyan Trunks in there helps out massively. He is consistently given the 2 key to STR Ultimate Gohan when he is in rotation, of course, and this is one of the main reasons why, if you don't have the optimal team, you potentially have to run multiple support units. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bit of an issue when it comes to super attacking. But again, another great unit. Isn't meant to hit hard, but definitely worthy of being on this list, and it's just crazy to see how good of a unit he became after that rebirth. Okay, so in the number 2 spot, and probably one of the more useless LRs in the game, but just because he is far ahead in terms of damage in comparison to the previous rebirths, and obviously he is extremely good when it comes to defense. It's just like, well, you can't not put Hercule here. He is definitely one of the more annoying LRs to get just because you have to spend a ton of Zenny, but his leader skill gives a 100% health and defensive boost to all types. Of course, he has a 12 key super attack and an 18 key. The 12 key causes colossal damage with a rare chance to stun. Rare chance to stun is 15% or around that amount. 18 key causes mega colossal damage and increases his defense by 50% for 3 turns. Great chance of attack going up by 20,000, and he also gives himself 7 key. His links are Hero, Soul vs Soul, Golden Z Fighter, Supreme Power, the Instant, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. So overall, his link set isn't that great, but it doesn't really matter that much because of his passive. And it actually says here, the great chance in passive skill for attack boost and key boost is a 70% chance. So that is definitely going to be going off quite frequently. And of course, he is in the World Tournament category as well as the Margin Boost Saga category, which is something that, well, we are definitely going to be using him a lot on the World Tournament category. But the thing about that category in particular is just simply that it's not very good for the most part, so you're not going to be using it against Dokkan events and such. But of course, when it comes to the Margin Boost Saga, if you don't have too many great options, you can put him in there. He won't be linking that well, but he will still be, at the very least, he is going to be super attacking himself, just because, again, when his passive goes off, he does give himself the 7 key, so it's not that much of an issue. You, at the very least, are going to get the 12 key super attack, but then again, with his passive active, you will instantly be on 13 key, so you only need 5 more orbs for the ultimate attack. So overall, it can kind of work, but then again, there are better options. But I definitely feel like one of the reasons that he is here is just simply because he is an LR, and of course, because he has colossal damage and such, you just can't not have him on here. And of course, who else but in the number 1 spot by a large margin, we have the TEQ Super Saiyan 3 Goku, legendary rare. His leader skill gives 4 key and a 100% stat boost to Super Tech types, and he also gives 2 key to Extreme Tech types and a 70% stats boost. 12 key Super Attack, causes colossal damage with a rare chance to stun again, 15% chance to stun, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense, and of course that is a Dragon Fist attack that looks absolutely beautiful. At the start of the turn, his defense goes up by 120%, and when he super attacks, pardon me, his attack goes up by 180% and his defense goes down by 70%. So he is still getting a 50% defensive boost, essentially. And I just kind of realized that his defense is kind of low for an LR, but then again, his attack is just super high. I don't think there is a single legendary rare in the game with an attack increase that high, which is just absolutely insane. I have seen his attack climb to like the 4 million, and that's with the free potential system buffs, which is just absolutely insane. Definitely one of the best units in the game, especially on a Super Saiyan 3 category. Honestly, I would even argue that he is the best legendary rare in the game, just simply because of that category and how hard he can hit. He's just an absolute beast of a unit. But again, that is a different discussion for a different video. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video as always. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know your list in the comment section down below. Again, this is just my opinion, so don't roast me for making a call that you don't necessarily agree with. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day as always, and I will see you all in the next one.